Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel all about BI. This is going to be a basic session on Azure functions. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, I'm going to take you through some of the basic tips that we need to know before we jump on to developing functions in Azure function app. All right. So the first step would be is to create a function app either through portal or through Visual Studio Code, whichever is comfortable for you. Okay, if you create a function app through the portal, you will have this particular page coming up for the basic details of function app, like which function group or resource group you want to create the function app in, and what is the function app name, and what is the runtime stack. I'll give a function app name like Azure function test demo or something. It should be unique globally, and once you choose the Azure function app name, you have to choose the runtime stack, which is nothing but in which language we need to develop the Azure function in, whether it's .NET or Node.js or Python or Java. So in our case, if we want to create Python based Azure functions, we have to choose Python, and the version you can choose the latest one, and region where you want to create the function app in. So I'll currently choose Central India. Okay, something like that. I'll choose the operating system. Linux is the only operating system for your selection of runtime stack. If you choose any other runtime stack, you will be having options to choose Windows as well, like .NET. Okay, so once I say create, you will be seeing the function app getting created under the resource group that you have mentioned, and once it is done, you will be able to create the functions itself. So let it get created. I will show you how to create a simple function and work with that. So function app has been created. We will have the option now to create Azure functions. Go inside the function app that you have created and then click on functions. So this will be giving you option to create a brand new function. Okay, so once I click create, you will see options to create the function either locally in your Azure portal, or you will have options to create either in Visual Studio Code or in any other editor plus core tools. Okay, so right now for you to start with the Azure function app, right, you can start developing in the portal itself. I'll tell you when we cannot use the portal for development, and we will have to go for other tools like Visual Studio Code. I'll tell you that in a while. Okay, right now I'll just choose this option, develop in portal. And one more thing you have to note here is, if you are creating a function app through Visual Studio Code, right, you will not see option like develop in portal when you open the function app. Okay, it will be missing. Alright, so I'm just choosing develop in portal now, and then choose the type of trigger which will be triggering our function, and then I'll give a function app name. Let it be default for now. So you will choose the authorization level. I'll leave everything as such to default ones, and I will create the function now. So once you click on code plus test, right, you will be seeing a placeholder code which already is created by Azure. So you will see some working code like hello world. Okay, so on top of it, if you want to make any modifications, you can make. Otherwise, you can if you are just learning, then this should be suffice for you to run and practice. Alright, so this code is very simple. It is importing Azure.functions module and then logging module. What it does is, it is getting a name which is nothing but a query string through the URL which is with which we will be calling the Azure function. So Azure function is going to be called through an URL. Okay, function app URL. So in that URL, we are going to pass a query string by the name. Okay, so that value will be assigned to name. If you have passed something, then you will be seeing something like hello that name followed by this HTTP triggered function executed successfully. If you haven't passed anything to the query string name, then it will simply say this function executed successfully. Pass a name in the query string or in the request body for a personalized response. Okay, in order to test this, what you can do is click on test plus run. So if you want to add a query string, you can click on parameter and say name. I will give all about BI. Okay, and then body need not be given. I'm just running it. It has to say hello all about BI. This HTTP triggered function executed successfully. In case of any issues, you will see an error like 500 not okay, something like that, or server error, internal server error. The error can be anything. Okay, since we didn't make any change to the existing code, it ran fine. Okay, in order to make changes, we can make changes. You can remove all these portion and you can implement whatever you want. For example, if you want to pass a date to this function and you want to get check whether it is a working day or business day, or it falls in a leap year, those kind of simple calculations which doesn't require any external modules, right, you can do it directly. Otherwise, if you need to import external libraries or modules, then you cannot make editing here. So as you can see here, adding third party dependencies in Azure portal is currently not supported for Linux consumption function apps. So whenever you are creating a function app for Python, then that is called Linux consumption function app. Okay, so we cannot use the Azure portal for adding third party dependencies. In that case, we will have to go only to the Visual Studio Code for making modifications. All right. If you want to do the same thing from Visual Studio Code, I'll tell you how to do. Okay, so install Visual Studio Code for your corresponding operating system. If it's Mac OS, you can get the corresponding link from Google. Similarly, for Windows also, you have appropriate installer. Okay, once you do that, you will be seeing this as a home page. Okay, I'll probably open it again. So this will be the home page wherein you can start with any of the folders. Okay, right now I'll start with desktop, and in desktop I have a demo folder, so I have chosen that to be my current workspace. Okay, so if you click on this icon will not come until you install Azure Functions extension for Visual Studio Code. So just make a note of it. You need to install Azure Function extension. Okay, once you try to create a function app, or you create function, right, it will prompt you to install the corresponding modules or extensions. Okay, so you will be getting prompts then and there in the bottom to install Python, to install Azure function core tools and Azure Functions extension. So you will be getting prompt. If not, you can install by yourself. Okay, this icon, again I'm telling, it will not come if you haven't installed Azure Functions extension. All right, so the first step is to create a local workspace. I have to choose the folder that will contain your function project. So I can choose demo itself. In the demo folder, I'm going to keep all my function app related components. And once you choose the folder, you can choose the type of language in which we need to develop our function in, and then you can choose the version of Python. And then the trigger, based on which trigger you want to create a which you want to trigger your function. Okay, so I'm just saying HTTP trigger 2 so that we can differentiate between the one which is created from the portal and from the Visual Studio Code. Alright, so let it be HTTP trigger 2. I'm clicking enter, and it is asking me authorization level. I clicked on function based authorization, and then it is giving me the same code that we are seeing in the portal as well. Okay, so how do I test it? I have to make sure it is working fine, right, locally. So this is in my local, in my desktop, inside demo folder, I am creating this function. The next step for me is to move it to Azure environment. That I will be doing little later. So for now, we have created a simple function with the base code that we already saw in the portal. Same code. Okay, if you want to run this, you will have to click on F5. Once you click F5, you will be prompted to install Azure Function Core Tools, okay, with which only you will be able to debug and run your Azure function locally. Okay, so I am clicking F5. I already installed Azure Function Core Tools, so it will not be asking me to do it again. So I have installed the core tools version 4.0.55198. okay, you can also install by just following the prompts. Alright, once you click F5, you will be seeing the prompt like install Azure function core tools, like that you will be seeing. So once you click on F5, we will be able to test this trigger. Okay, I can take it to my browser and test if my function is working fine or not. And you also have something called debug console. If you have any print statement here, In Python, the output statement is print, right? So if you have something, if you have printed something, you will be seeing it in the debug console or output. I don't remember exactly. Either of these two will be showing the print statement. Okay. In the terminal, if you want to install some modules like pandas or numpy, you can do it from the terminal itself. Okay. So let us test this by copying the URL. I just put it as such from the terminal, and then it says this HTTP triggered function executed successfully. Here I am giving the query string. Okay, I am giving the query string name all about BI. We are expecting hello all about BI. It has come. Okay, so this is how we check if the function works locally. In case you make any modifications, you have to test the same way. For example, maybe I can show you something like name equal to all about BI. So even if I'm not providing anything in name, I'm just assigning locally as all about BI. So I'm expecting it to say hello all about BI again. I'm restarting it. So this icon is to restart. Okay, this is to pass the execution. This is to restart. I'm restarting again, and then going back to the browser. I'm not giving anything in the query string. See, I'm again seeing all about BI. Okay, so this way you can play around with the basic code that is being provided to you by Azure itself. All right, so what else we have to understand here? So if you go to the terminal in the top, you will see something like installing collected packages, installing. Okay, so this is the very important step that I wanted to let you know. Something is there like requirements.txt. The function that you are creating, right, it is associated with certain files. Okay, certain supporting files, I would say. Requirement.txt is one such supporting file where we can see that click on the function function name, you will be seeing requirements.txt. Initially it will be empty. Okay, by default it will have Azure functions. So what this is used for is, if you are going to use any external or third party libraries like pandas or numpy or whatever functions or modules you are going to use in your function, right, you have to mention all of them here, and when your function executes, all of them will be installed. As you can see here, it is reading the requirement.txt file and then it is installing Azure functions. Once it has installed, in the next execution it will say requirements already satisfied. It will not throw any error. Okay, so that is the purpose of requirement.txt. While promoting it to Azure also, this file will be deployed. Okay, so that in Azure environment your function app will know what are the corresponding modules we need to download or install for your function app to work fine. Alright, so I think that's all. I'll quickly deploy it to Azure and show you how it works, and then we can wind up. So this is the function app, right? You can copy function URL and then put it the same way how I put it in the browser, and then click on execute. If it works fine, alright. Otherwise, if it throws error, you have to go back to the function app and see what happened. You will be seeing the error in the terminal itself. Okay, so how to deploy it to Azure is, click on this icon, deploy to function app. It will be asking you to first sign in. Okay, once you signed in, it will ask for you the basic details like which function app and all. It will ask the subscription. In that subscription, if you have any function app already created, you can choose that, and then the deployment will start by asking you, are you sure you want to deploy to function app demo 1? This will override any previous deployment and cannot be undone. So once you say deploy, it will take around a minute for your local function to be promoted to Azure or deployed to Azure. Alright, it says deployment to function app demo 1 completed. We can test the same way how we tested it locally. Okay, expand the subscription, go to the function app, and then under the function app you will be seeing HTTP trigger 2 now under functions. So you can I'll just terminate the previous execution. Okay, I'll close the files. So you can right click and execute function now. Okay, in order to execute the function from Azure perspective. So far we have been running it from the local perspective. Executed function http trigger to. Okay, so same way you can copy the function URL, go to the browser, copy paste it. Since we have already declared all about BI, it is telling all about BI. Okay, if you want to give some other thing, what we have to do is, whatever changes you have to make, you have to first make it in the local function, and then you have to deploy to Azure. You cannot directly deploy in Azure. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to just remove this part so that we can test the changes. Done. I'm just saving it, and then I'm deploying it again to Azure. We are not doing anything, we are just removing the hard code for all about BI. So deploy, let it take some time. Alright, so the changes are deployed now. So I'll just refresh this URL. We should not be seeing all about BA because we have removed the hard code. So here, if you want to pass any query string, right, you cannot use question mark because it is already used. So we have to just append by using ampersand. So I can say name equal to all about BA now. It will say hello all about BA. So the difference is, if you are seeing a question mark already, then you cannot use that for passing the query string values. Just use an ampersand to append your query string parameter values. Okay, so once the deployment is completed, you can go to the function app, and then you can check on the app files. These are the app files which I said, like supporting files like requirement.txt. While you deploy your code, right, or function, you will be deploying the requirements.txt as well. So as you can see, whatever we mentioned in the Visual Studio Code, it's coming up. Okay, so these are some of the basics that I wanted to touch upon in this session. It's already around 17 minutes or so. In the next video, what I'll do, I'll uninstall the existing NumPy and Pandas library and tell you how do we install it and push it to Azure, and how do we test it and look at the logs if any error is coming up. Okay, I hope this will be a good start for you. If you have any questions, I request you to post it in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep supporting the channel.